Hey everyone, welcome back to another Roman Reacts. We are here today with another video reaction. However, this one is one that's a little bit different compared to the other ones. This one it was on my watch later list, and I just thought to myself, why not give this a watch? And it's actually based on a movie that I actually just recently watched not too long ago, which is Princess Mononoke Revealed: The Real Mythology and History. So yeah, let's just get. It's a little bit different than my normal stuff, but like I really do enjoy Studio Ghibli's movies and the creativity and the things that they may able to make. And Hayao Miyazaki just knows, like, has an excellent craft. And I know that there's been a bunch of stuff happening online of late where I think it was ChatGPT, which has been posting a bunch. I think they had an update that allowed you to be able to make Studio Ghibli art pieces, and now it's just everywhere of late. So it's just I feel bad kind of because that stuff's like an artwork, and it's like unique and special to be able to take the time to hand draw and create something that's spectacular. And then you have these people coming in with this AI and just like within 5 minutes create like an art piece based on a random bit. And it's like you're killing artists. You're really killing the craft because you people do not understand. People don't tend to see that like artists take time because they want to create something that's special and unique, and you can't rush art. And yeah, so anyway, I just wanted a little rant there, but regardless, let's just dive on in with this, have a good time, and just enjoy some lore. Okay. All right, so here we go. We got this all settled and all ready. So I am really curious as to what we might find in the mythos with this. So, and I really do enjoy the Princess Mononoke movie. It's such the visuals, the aesthetics, every canvas is just amazing to watch. So let's just give this a go and have fun. Okay.
Princess Mononoke is one of the most powerful, complex, and beautiful animated films ever made. Upon its release in 1997, this film broke box office records in its native Japan, until they were broken by Titanic, and those records were broken by the follow-up film from Hayao Miyazaki, Spirited Away. However, before Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke brought a story rich in Japanese mythology, folklore, and history to a new audience. Never before had the West been exposed to the age-old legend of the Mononoke Princess. And that's because there isn't one. This film is based on an original story by Miyazaki. Like
Okay.
most Miyazaki films, Princess Mononoke feels like it could be based on a real legend, even though it isn't. This is in part due to Miyazaki's prowess as a storyteller, but also to the real mythology and folklore that inspired him.
Oh,
As I stated
okay.
in my video on Spirited Away, which you can view by clicking on the upper right
I think I do have that on my wish list, watch later list as well. I'll probably give that a watch too.
hand corner of the screen, Miyazaki is careful to obscure most of his sources, or he will change them enough that they become fiction. But that doesn't stop people like me from trying to decipher his sources anyway. So in this video, I will go over Princess Mononoke and point out the real mythology, folklore, and history that it references, or at least is very similar to. Sorry for any mispronunciations I make, let's get started. There's no better place to start with Princess Mononoke than its title, Mononoke Hime in the original Japanese. Hime, as you might have guessed, means princess, or more accurately, the daughter of a lord. Mononoke is a general term for vengeful ghosts or spirits. So fully translated, the title is Princess of the Spirit of Vengeance. In this suspenseful opening sequence, Prince Ashitaka's village is attacked by a demon, who we later learn was once a boar god named Nago. Nago was corrupted by his own rage and fear after being shot by Lady Eboshi, and poisoned by the iron bullet in his body. But that doesn't explain why he appears to be covered in black worms. In Japanese folklore, sorcerers were known to use poisonous worm spells called kodoku, which translates as worm toxin, and these were derived from gu, or poison spells used in Chinese black magic. These poison spells are created by combining several venomous creatures, but the end result may take the form of a worm, like those that cover the boar god and which ultimately
Oh,
poison Ashitaka. In this case, the worms appear to be a visual representation of a Tatari, or curse. In fact, when the Watchman first sees the demon, he calls him a Tatari spirit. In Japanese folklore, a Tatari is usually created by a specific vengeful spirit called Onryo, who became thus by holding on to urami, or a grudge. Nago's hatred of humanity transformed him into a vengeful demon, like an Onryo, and his Tatari infected Ashitaka. It also imbued Ashitaka with demonic strength that we witness later, although in this scene the Tatari more resembles snakes or eels than worms. It's also possible these serpentine spirits are influenced by Tsuchinoko, a malevolent snake-like yokai or spirit creature from Japanese folklore, or a similar yokai called Nozuchi.
大和との戦に敗れ、この地に潜んでから514年。
Ashitaka's village and tribe are called Emishi, which is a true historical ethnic group from Japan's northeastern regions, mainly in what is today the Tohoku region. Emishi were hunter-gatherers known for their skill in archery from horseback. Some historians believe they are related to the indigenous people of Hokkaido, the Ainu, while others maintain Emishi are a separate ethnicity. I know it's disappointing, but Emishi didn't actually ride red elk like Yakul, because that's not a real animal native to Japan. Yakul does resemble a red lechwe, which is a type of antelope from southern Central Africa. Miyazaki confirmed that Princess Mononoke is set during the Muromachi period, from 1336 to 1573 CE. When the village elder says that more than 500 years have passed since the emperor drove them out of his lands, he might be referring to the Emishi's conflict with Japanese forces in the 8th century that drove them out of some parts of northern Honshu, or the line could be completely fictional. The guns that Lady Eboshi and her men are using here are based on real firearms that originated in China, called fire lances. This very early form of gun was adopted and used in Japan long before the Portuguese introduced matchlock guns in 1543. Lady Eboshi later reveals that her firearms and the matchlock gun she later uses were designed by the lepers of Irontown. This is the first time we encounter the wolves. One of the men calls them Inugami, which is an evil dog spirit usually associated with black magic, but the term was likely meant to be derogatory. These are in fact Japanese wolves, called Okami, or a similar canid called Yama-inu, mountain dog, although as wolves from a mythic forest of spirits, they are much larger than normal. The Japanese wolf was a real species native to Japan, except for Hokkaido, they had a different wolf. However, the species went extinct around 1905. The title Okami literally means great spirit, and they were named this for their role in Japanese mythology as divine messengers or vehicles of the mountain gods.
Okay.
Okami are also thought of as guardians or guides. For example, in one famous legend, Prince Yamato Tekiru became lost and was guided to the correct path by a large white wolf. That wolf was deified as Okuchi no Magami, the large-mouthed pure god, and is still venerated today at the Musashi Mitake Shinto Shrine in outer Tokyo. The Ainu people also deified the Hokkaido wolf in folklore, calling them Horku Kamui, howling god, or Yukoiki Kamui, the god who takes deer. In one variation of their creation myth, the Ainu people are said to be descended from a white wolf and a goddess. However, wolves aren't always seen as benevolent in Japanese folklore. The Okuri Inu, or sending off dog, is a yokai thought to resemble a dog or a wolf. Okuri Inu will follow and protect those who travel through the mountains, but if the traveler loses their footing, it will rip them to shreds. Likewise, the wolves of Princess Mononoke can be malevolent or benevolent. For example, attacking the humans of Irontown, but adopting and raising San, aka Princess Mononoke. As we can see, the mother wolf, Moro, has two tails. This is similar to a belief in Japanese and Chinese folklore, usually attributed to fox spirits. In Japanese folklore, the fox, or kitsune, will gain extra tails as it grows older and wiser. In some folklore, it gains an extra tail for every century of its life, and may gain as many as 9. This means that Moro is likely over a century old, but the fan wiki places her age at 300. San was adopted as a baby and raised by Moro. There are many myths or legends that feature feral children raised by wild animals, but the most famous is likely the legend of Romulus and Remus, the founders of ancient Rome. Like San, they were raised by a she-wolf, so it's possible Miyazaki was inspired by this Roman myth. Another possible inspiration for San, a little closer to home, is the Shinto goddess Kanayago. This goddess is often depicted riding a white fox while carrying a sword and a gemstone, like the one Ashitaka gives to San later. Ironically, Kaniyago is the patron goddess of metalworkers, like the residents of Irontown, who San despises. In this scene, we are introduced to the Kodama, or tree spirits. In Japanese folklore, these spirits inhabit very old or special trees in the mountains, and will curse or bring death to anyone who cuts those trees down. Outside of their tree, the Kodama may appear as ghostly light, an animal, or even a human. Miyazaki's depiction of Kodama is unique, but visually owes more to an unlikely source than to Japanese folklore. In an interview, Miyazaki admitted he was influenced by Daijiro Morihoshi's manga, Mudmen, for both Princess Mononoke and Castle in the Sky. The Mudmen manga adapts the legend of the Asaro tribe of Papua New Guinea. While wearing their masks, the Asaro Mudmen resemble Miyazaki's Kodama, although the Kodama are smaller and you could say cherub-like. Other aspects of Princess Mononoke were also influenced by Morihoshi's manga, like, I suspect, San's mask and face paint, and there are other similarities I will point out later. This forest and much of this story were inspired by a trip that Miyazaki and the rest of Studio Ghibli took to the Japanese island of Yakushima. Not to brag, but the footage you see here was taken by yours truly while I visited the island last summer. It really does resemble the forest of the forest spirit, and it is full of sika deer like those that Ashitaka sees here, before catching a quick glimpse of the forest spirit. In Japanese, Irontown is called Tatara, which is the name of a furnace used to smelt iron and steel in traditional Japanese ironwork, similar to what we see depicted in the film. This form of ironwork was essentially the most advanced technology of its time in Japan, and thus it serves as a great metaphor for man's gradual deviation from nature and corruption of it, the core theme and conflict at the heart of Princess Mononoke. After Ashitaka and San leave Irontown, they encounter the ape tribe. Japan does have a lot of monkeys, but they are macaques, not large primates that resemble gorillas as these do. The ape tribe is traditionally peaceful and prefers not to interfere in the war between Irontown and the gods of the forest. This is similar to the role of monkey spirits in 8th century Japanese folklore, which portrays them as mediators between the gods and humans. Later folklore portrays them as tricksters or malevolent yokai, perhaps the direction the ape tribe is going in this story.
Oh.
The ape tribe's glowing red eyes also resemble monkeys from Chinese folklore. For example, Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, is said to have fiery red eyes.
Okay.
Here we see the forest spirit in his gigantic Nightwalker form. In Japanese, the Nightwalker is called Daidarabachi, which is the name of a giant yokai of Japanese folklore. The Daidarabachi was thought to be so huge that its feet created lakes or ponds each time it took a step. In one legend, this giant yokai lifted Mount Fuji and Mount Tsukuba to see which was heavier. Daidarabachi are usually depicted as giant humanoids with bald heads and dark skin, nothing like Miyazaki's vision of the Nightwalker, which again owes more to Morihoshi's manga Mudmen, and specifically this panel which depicts a massive god of the forest. The Daidarabachi is also not known to transform into a forest spirit as the Nightwalker does. In Japanese, the forest spirit is called Shishigami, which means deer god. I mean like the animal deer, not like, oh dear God. In Shinto, deer are thought of as messengers or vehicles of the gods. Like Okami, but deer are not exclusive to gods of the mountain. This is why deer are permitted to wander freely through certain Shinto shrines, like the Kasuga Shrine in Nara. A famous scroll painting associated with this shrine, called Kasuga Deer Mandala, may even be the inspiration for the forest spirit's antlers. The scroll depicts a white deer at the base of Kasuga Mountain, with a sacred Sakai tree growing from its back. Miyazaki may have taken inspiration from this scroll, but placed the tree on the deer god's head rather than back. Creatures with animal-like bodies and human-like faces are not uncommon in Japanese folklore. A yokai called Kudan resembles a cow with the face of a human, and a tree spirit called Hoko resembles a tailless black dog with a human face. While not exactly human, the Force Spirit's face somewhat resembles a red shoujo mask from Japanese No theater. The Force Spirit is a god of life and death, like a Shinigami or death god in Japanese mythology, but the Force Spirit can also choose to give life. You could say like nature itself, and this is what I believe the Force Spirit represents in the story, as well as the old perception of the Forest. Forests of legend were a place of mystery, wonder, and danger, something you needed to both revere and fear if you wanted to survive, like the Force Spirit. In this scene, we finally meet the boar army and their new leader, Okoto. Japanese wild boars, called inoshishi, are a common sight in the Japanese countryside, although again, they aren't quite this big. In Japanese folklore, the boar was revered by hunters for its bravery and defiance. But the boar or pig is also an important animal in general Asian folklore as the last animal of the Chinese zodiac. Those born in the year of the pig are sometimes thought to embody boar-like traits, for example, determination and impetuosity. The boar or pig is also a symbol of wealth and prosperity. In Japanese folklore, the boar can be seen as fearsome or benevolent. For example, in the legend of Ino Sasao, the bamboo boar king, a boar is shot and killed by a hunter, but returns as a demon to seek revenge, similar to Nago. In another legend, the famous court official Kiyomaro was sent into exile after having the tendons of his legs cut. On his journey, 300 boar spirits appeared in the mountains, miraculously healed his legs, and helped him reach his destination. These boars are venerated at the Go Shinto Shrine in Kyoto, which is a popular destination for those with leg injuries. I should also note, as I did in my Spirited Away video, that Miyazaki has a general preoccupation with pigs. Objects or elixirs that provide immortality are common in mythology. However, there is no legend that tells of a Force Spirit's head providing this. There is a famous Japanese legend called Yaobikuni, in which a girl becomes immortal by consuming the flesh of a ningyo, or Japanese mermaid. But even Jiko Bo admits that he doesn't really know why the Emperor believes this about the Force Spirit's head. He's just doing a job. Luckily, San and Ashitaka are able to stop him and return the head, after which life returns to the forest. However, as San says, it's no longer the forest of the Force Spirit. In an interview, Miyazaki implied that while life does return to the forest, it is no longer the forest of legend, where gods and mythic creatures roam. It is simply nature, as we know it today. That is why, while this film is beautiful and powerful, it is also a little sad. Those are all the references to mythology, folklore, and history that I found most interesting in Princess Mononoke. Please let me know what references you noticed or point out what I missed in the comments below. And let me know what movie or show I should review next. As it did for many, this film changed the way I saw the world and inspired me to travel to Japan, as well as make this video. Obviously. I'd like to give a special thank you to Desmond Hinkson, who helped me with this video. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, check out my video on Spirited Away and these other videos on the mythology behind your favorite movies or shows. Thanks for watching, until next time.
I really do enjoy that. I really do enjoy how Princess Mononoke was like it's so sad yet beautiful at the same time. You had these warring, like Ashitaka is cursed by a boar god who has been poisoned by the lead bullet. He travels west to find the source of this evil, and he encounters both the samurai, and he also encounters Irontown, and along the way he meets with he runs in with San and the wolves, basically, and he gets to see the perspectives of what's happening on both sides. For instance, he knows of the gods of the forest, why they hate the humans. They destroy they destroy the land, but then when you and whatnot, but then when you look at the human side, they need to survive because they need the iron in the sands to be able to make in order to create the things to defend themselves from the samurai. On top of that, Lady Eboshi also takes in women who had been in brothels and whorehouses, and managed to keep them keep them with her to so they can have better lives. And then she also has lepers who have been outcasted by society, basically, and there's like good and evil on both sides. I guess some people may claim, but truly, this was just remarkable. I really wish people would love more of these films and just the mythology behind this was so much, but like it's so amazing at the same time because you never know how little things from here and there are like inspirations for great epics, and yeah, it's wonderful to see. So anyway, that is it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed. And really, do go give a chance to watch Princess Mononoke as well. Hiccup. I'll I'll leave a link in the description down below. I'm not sure if the guy is. Let me go double check if he's still active. Let me double check. Sometimes people tend to do their own thing, or they. Yeah, it's a lot of his stuff's been in like a year now, so he hasn't posted much at all, which is unfortunate. I was hoping he would continue more, but I'll still watch a few more things of his if you guys are interested. But yeah, I hope you do enjoyed. I hope you had a wonderful time watching with me. I'll post, like I said, I'll post a link in the description, and I'll catch you on the next one. Okay. So as always, thank you for coming on by. Romans, salute.
If you like Romans content and wish to see more, like and subscribe to continue to support the channel.